You know, in the last couple of days, I've been sleeping like crazy. And I came in here to work out and everything. I'm in the back, and I realized one of the reasons as to why I've been sleepy for the last couple of days is people, when I go out on a truck, I don't drink a lot of water. And the reason why I don't drink a lot of water is because when you're driving a truck, you can't stop and pee like you want to. A lot of guys that got their own truck, they got pee bottles. And I didn't have that. So, when you're training on the truck, what you try to do is you try to be considerate to the training and not saying that every time we see a truck stop, I got to stop and take a piss. People, water is the body's oil. That's what water is. Water makes the blood through your veins flow better. It makes your brain think easier. It is the essence of your body's oil. It's the body's lubricant. Your body needs lubricants even when a thought needs to go. When your body says, if you put your hand on a stove and your body says, move your hand, the thought that processed through your brain needs to flow with ease. And I haven't been drinking water since I've been training on this truck. I haven't been drinking water. And when I stop and have a couple of days off and I take a nap, I go into a coma. And I realize that I'm taking all of my necessary power things. I'm hitting power switches. I'm taking the necessary vitamins. I'm doing everything. And I'm like, well, what's the one thing that has been minused from the equation? Water. So I want to talk about that today. You got a minute? People, there's a lot of individuals that live their life and don't get enough water. Water is the grandest substance in the world. You can live longer without eating than you can without water. I think the body can go, if you stop eating the two and you was to eat food, you didn't have food, I think you can go and just eat and drink water. You can go like 30 something or 40 days almost, something like that. But if you stop the two and just stop eating, stop and just not take water, you die like in 5 or 6 days, something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's astonishing. The facts is overwhelming. But I'm talking about water, the body's lubricant. People, water, when it gets into the body, it does the same as it does for your car. Water, when it gets in your body, it cleans. It pushes out body fat. That's what water does. Water is an essential part of your day-to-day. There are people, I do personal training. Since the blip, aka COVID, I haven't done training at all. I haven't done my workshops. I have done nothing. All right. And because of that, I don't interact with people on the health kick like I used to. But I can tell you, when I do have clients with my fitness, it's different from women than it is from men. When I would have an individual, they would say, I don't want to get my hair wet. The only problem that I ever had with guys is, and damn, I gotta stop and think. The only problem that I had when it came to fitness with guys is I don't like water like that. I don't drink water like that. Give them a beer, but I don't drink water like that. It's different with women. Women is all up and down the board. So I'm gonna tell y'all the different types of water. First, there's tap water. Appreciate those thumbs up, y'all. New to the channel, I think you wouldn't mind. Appreciate the growth. Also, check out Red Pill Fab 2.0. The link is at the bottom of the video. But I'm going to talk to y'all about the different types of water. First, there's tap water. Tap water is the dirtiest water you can drink. Although it looks clean, tap water is the dirtiest water you can drink. If I can give you an example, I'm currently right now at the studio. The studio has well water. I just washed my car. When I washed my car, I have to spray the car down and wipe. I have to dry the car. I can't wet the whole car down and, or better yet, I got to wash the car in the shade. I cannot wash the car in the sun when I use well water. The reason why I can't wash the car in the sun and I have to wash the car around back is because when the sun beats down on the car, the metal heats up and the water evaporates quicker. When the water evaporates, well water has too many minerals in it. It dries and it makes your car look like crap. So you gotta wipe the car off quicker. Now, you may not get that situation with city water, tap, because they treat it. But I assure you, the delivery system in which you get your tap water is full of rust, microorganisms, and all kinds of stuff that you really don't want in your body. At home, at my house, I have an automatic ice maker. And if you open my freezer, you'll see an ice tray in there as well. I truly only use the ice and from my ice maker as when I put stuff in my cooler. I'll grab some. I'll probably use the ice in my ice maker probably 5 times a month. That's it. Probably 5 times. But when I make my milkshakes and everything, I have an ice tray that I use distilled water. Tap water has too much, it's too dirty. What you got to understand is that if I am thirsty and if you take 2 people that had equal thirst and you give one person tap water and give another person distilled water, the person with distilled water thirst will be quenched quicker than a person from the tap water. Okay? Why would a person that have been drinking distilled water thirst be quenched quicker than a person that drinks tap water? The reason for it is your body can't absorb something that's dirty. Your body, this is why we see obesity in a rate that is on a scale that's grand. People, I have a microwave at my house, but I haven't used the microwave in years. I haven't had, before me buying my house, I hadn't had a microwave in about 12 years. I don't own a microwave. When you microwave your food, it destroys it. Your body can't absorb it. The nutrients are gone. The way it breaks the food down, it just destroys food. And the body don't know how to process it no more. That's why individuals eat it and get overweight. All right, that's another story. I'm talking about water today. So why does a person thirst get quenched quicker with distilled water than they do with tap water? Well, this is what I'm drinking right now. Distilled. I only drink distilled water. The reason why I only drink distilled water is because distilled water has nothing in it. The only thing in distilled water is water. There isn't no microorganisms. There's no minerals. There's no hardness. There's nothing. The only thing I hear my phone buzzing. Bzzz, bzzz. Anyway. So, so, um, distilled water is 100% pure water. This is why if you look inside of a car, the radiators say distilled water only. Because if you put anything else in it, it's gonna rust and make your system rust. If you look at an iron, you ever put regular old tap water in an iron and then it coughs and dirty brown water comes out? You know why that is? Those are the minerals inside the water that got heated up and it's burning and they get brown. That's why. That's why all these things say put nothing but distilled water. But I want to talk about water and how the body and people absorb water. People, part of losing weight is taking in a lot of water. That, along with fiber, you're on to something good. People, in the last week, Sunday made a week, I lost 7 pounds. I lost 7 pounds because I took my fiber intake up. And a lot of people has constipation. And they have constipation based on the fact that they don't drink a lot of water. When you don't drink a lot of water, you're not giving your body lubricants. Now, a lot of people Now, a lot of people they have an issue with fiber intake because it makes you go to the bathroom. At least it should. But a lot of people, because when we talk about health and talk about, when I talk about health and I talk about one of the simplest things you can do is drink water. The only people I ever got pushback was from women. That's it. I'm not trying to do that. When I talk about fiber, I'm not trying to do that because it makes me go to the bathroom. And then some would say, I did a fiber intake and I'm still constipated. And the reason why you would take fiber and still be constipated is because fiber and water are partners. And I can only imagine if somebody does one looking for the results as if they did two. The number one reason and the only reason why fiber does not work is because you're not taking fiber along with water. I want to be clear about what I'm about to say. Water does the same for everything. It gives everything life. Bacteria, it quenches thirst. It quenches thirst. It does the same for everything and everybody. That's what it does for nature. It is if you, they say 90% of the human body is water. That goes the same for everybody. To get grass to grow, you water it. That goes the same for everybody. When someone says, I applied it to it and it didn't work, it's because they didn't apply it correctly. Fiber, same thing. It doesn't say, well, when this person, it won't work. It's because fiber only works with water. You need water. If not, and the funny thing is, this is something my brother taught me about water. If you add lemon juice to water, you done created something that's going to burn some fat. But I want to finish talking about water. A lot of you go out and about and you go and you look on a shelf and you see spring water from the glacier, from the mountains. Spring water is the worst water you can. Second, it's tap water than spring water. Spring water is not good to drink. It's not. There's too many minerals in it. It's too many. It's too many. It's better than tap. But the best water to drink, hands down, distilled water. Best water to drink, distilled. The way they make distilled water is this. You ever let a pot boil out? You let a pot boil out and you see all those rings in it? Those are all the minerals. When water boils, water is the only thing that evaporates. Minerals can't evaporate. The minerals that's inside water cannot evaporate too. Water is the only thing that evaporates. So the way they get distilled water is they boil water and they catch the steam. And the steam is distilled water. It's 100% pure water. If they put gasoline in the water, that gasoline will not evaporate with the water. If they put dirt, if they take muddy water, if you take muddy water and it boils, the one thing that is not going to evaporate too is the dirt and everything. When you see this smoldering stuff come from that water, that is distilled water. It's the clearest, purest, unadulterated. It is 100% pure water. That's what you get. And like I said when I started off, and I appreciate those thumbs up, I noticed that in the last 2 weeks, I've been sleeping like I've been going to the gym. I've been taking naps like I've been sleeping all day. Nothing is working. None of my vitamin sequence, nothing is working. But once again, I realized the one thing and the reason why I'm having the issues that I'm having is because I'm not drinking a lot of water. So, I don't know. I don't know. I ain't getting back on that damn truck. That ain't happening. Long story. So, if you guys don't do nothing else for your body in your day to day, you are doing your body a grand injustice by not drinking water. Take it from a person that drinks it and didn't drink it in the last 2 weeks. People, when I go to bed in the last couple of days, I'm waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning like, what? 9 o'clock? And what happens is when you don't get water, when you don't get enough water, your body itself becomes constipated, and your body spends more energy to digest food. Your body spends more energy to think. Your body spends more energy just to move. Your body spends more energy just to breathe. The normal everyday functions, your body, it's harder for your body to function. People, I'm gonna tell you something. I have a motorcycle. It's a Honda Silverwing. It's a scooter style, but it's a motorcycle, 600 cc's. Anybody will tell you that rides a motorcycle, it's exhausting. People, when you're riding a motorcycle for the next day and a half, it's almost like you're the smartest person in the world. When you ride a motorcycle and you're riding and you're zipping in and out of traffic and you got that mall cracked open, when you're riding a motorcycle, your brain, you're looking through your helmet, and your brain is actually 10 miles up the road. You're riding, and you're looking at that car, and you're saying to yourself, by the time I get to that car, I need to know that I need to swing left, swing right. If that mug put on his blinker, I know I need to dip. When you ride a motorcycle, your brain is using your peripherals as far as you can see. If I turn this way, I can still see. Right at this point, I can't see the camera no more. All right? When you're riding a motorcycle, your brain is processing every aspect of your sight. Here's something that people don't realize when you're riding, when you're doing. Right now, I have my hands in front of me. If I take my right hand, which is going to be on your left, and just move it like that, my brain had to process that movement. My eyes are seeing movement. My eyes have to process that movement as I'm moving. My eyes have to process that. If everything else stands still, my eyes have to process that movement, right? Can you imagine being on a motorcycle and everything in front of you is coming slow, but as everything on the side is going like this, and everything it's in front of you, and then soon you get close up to it, it's a zap. Your brain is processing all that. That's why when if you in a riding club and you got on a motorcycle and you've been riding all day, the next day you're gonna be in a coma. Your body is working to process the vision, your thought. Your body is working. That's why, like I said, for a day and a half after I ride, my intellect is through the roof because my brain is up. When you ride a motorcycle, your brain is up. Your brain is like calculation, wind flow. Oh shit, you dip behind the shield. Do that. Boy, it's something else. It's the same thing that happens when you don't drink water. You're putting stress and strain on your body. That's what you're doing. You're straining yourself. You're causing your body a great injustice. And what happens when your body moves slow? What happens when you have bowel movements once every 2 days? You're prone to sickness. What was that? You wanted an example. What happens when water is not moving? What happens when they say don't have still water around your house? Mosquitoes set up shop in it. Mold, mildew, everything. What happens when there's humidity inside of a house? Mold builds up. Only thing you got to do to settle that is put one ventilation system at one end of the room, put another one at the other end, and have air blowing through it. Normally you put a motor blowing in on one and you have a little motor blowing out. And what that does is it causes the air, instead of still air, still musty air, you got airflow. Mold cannot set up in airflow. It can't. Just like if you go to a pond and you see rushing water, you won't see mosquitoes in rushing water. But when you go to a lake, you see those big giant mosquitoes and you see stuff dipping down in the water. Like, what was that? Something just moved. It's the same thing with your body. When you eat a sandwich at 3 o'clock, by 7 or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at the latest, that sandwich should have went through your body, been throughout your body, out your digestive tract, and now you're going to the bathroom. Anything less than that, you need to change. And what you need to change is you need to lubricate your body. And the best thing to do it, distilled water. All right? Distilled water. People, my lady eats a lot of ice. And she eats a lot of ice. And there's a lot of people that eat ice, anemics. My friend Reddy Rhett, rest in peace. She ate a lot of ice. You do know that ice swells. So what happens is you could take a tablespoon of water and it swells up. So you can say, hey, I got a mouthful of ice, but when it melts down, it's nothing but a quarter cup of water. So just understand that. A lot of people say, well, I don't drink a lot of water, but I eat ice. You got to drink water. It's not the same. Not a comparison. It's not. That's all I'm going to say. It's not the same. Add a lot of water to your life. For not, if anything, the health benefits. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. I mean, do I look like I'm in shape? I'm 52 years old. I'll be 53 this year. Do I look like I'm in shape? So if it wasn't as what I'm saying it is, I wouldn't be saying it. I'm not here, I'm not, let me say this. I'm not saying this with a malice intent behind it. I'm saying this because this is a true perspective, okay? Get more water in your life, drink more water, you will be better off. I promise you that. People, I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate you for giving me your time. I'll check you guys on the next one. I'm only Chris. I'm only kicking facts at 100%. This, in turn, dubs me as the hated one. Later, y'all.